Hey, what's up there? It's me, Nick Cicada, back on the internet with a little commentary video for you here. So, if you caught my most recent song, Boyfriend Bloodbath, you may have been a bit confused, because that's a damn spicy title. And mainly, the song is a joke. It's kind of a roast, and it's kind of just a shitpost, because I thought the title was fucking hilarious. Boyfriend Bloodbath. It's just very alliterative, and I'm kind of amazed that isn't already like the name of something, because it sounds pretty cool, but also like pretty funny. But anyway, this video, I just figured it's worthwhile to point out that this recent cycle of aromantic songs I've made has not even necessarily been that popular compared to my other stuff. So I've decided to kind of stop making so much aromantic songs. That doesn't mean I won't make more of them in the future, but I'm just kind of tired. It's kind of played out, and there's only so much you can do with them at one point in time. Like, there are a lot of facets to aromanticism, obviously, but I'm kind of tired of the premise, and I'd like to make some songs about other stuff, so I decided to go with a bang on Boyfriend Bloodbath. See how far the limits of absurdity can be pushed to kind of test the waters. You know, I'm kind of dipping my toe in. It's kind of like, oop, you know, how far is the limits of the absurd going to go before I'm just like tired of this. For now, I might make some in the future, because I do think it's interesting, and I think there's too many like breakup songs about oh my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever was mean or whatever, but there aren't enough like unrequited friendship songs, or enough songs about effective platonic friendships, or enough songs about like not being friends with someone because they have a boyfriend now. I don't think there are enough of those type songs at all generally. There aren't enough songs about platonic dynamics. I feel like that's a really interesting untapped market, but for now I think I've given enough back to the aromantic and asexual type crowd that you won't need so many of those songs for quite some time. But I'm happy about the new album. I think it was pretty hype. But I did make songs during it like Boyfriend Bloodbath that couldn't even fit on the album, because I have to trim the album down to 1.5 hours or less so it fits onto tape. Boyfriend Bloodbath, it's kind of a tongue twister, is only available here on the internet. At least for now. I might release it someday as like a part of a rarities collection or something, I don't know. Anyway, as part of this video, I'd just like to say that I find it really funny that conservatives are like, you know, so-and-so is just being non-binary or trans or whatever to be popular, because it's like, as an LGBTQ plus IA person myself, you know, and the A stands for asexual, but it's the 7th acronym, so people tend to forget that. Being LGBTQ, I can tell you firsthand, it doesn't make you very popular. My asexual type songs, my aromantic type songs, not that popular. You know, when I started out, I made a lot of songs that were just kind of sellout junk. It's kind of filler, just like, oh, your hot lips or whatever. And that got kind of boring and stale, and it wasn't really true to me, so I decided to cut back on that. But the aromantic type songs aren't popular at all. And I like making them, but they're just not popular. Like asexuality, if you compare it to like being straight, or being trans, or non-binary, or gay, or lesbian, or whatever, being asexual is not popular. So, I don't know if people just don't get the memo, but like, there's nothing popular about it, and I'm not even doing it to be popular. It actually makes me extremely unpopular to like everyone. Nobody likes being around someone who doesn't like sex or romance and has no interest in participating in either of those practices, and is just kind of detached and apathetic all the time. It's not really a popular way to be, but I just am like this, so, you know, I don't know what to do. I am kind of amazed at how controversial my little deconstruction of romance as an institution and as an idea is, and how like I think about it from a critical standpoint, because I don't understand why people have sex. And if I don't understand people's motivation for their actions, like, I can't understand people. To me, sex is nothing more than a surreal, fictive construct. To me, sex does not exist. I've never had it. So to me, it's just confusing. And when people say that they do things specifically so they can make their boyfriend happy or their girlfriend happy or whatever, I'm just kind of like, what? So hopefully the new album kind of reflects that aura of like complete confusion and not understanding what anyone is talking about, because I don't understand why anyone would want to engage in this sex stuff. It just sounds like really boring, and I can only really interpret it as a joke. I have no respect for it. I think it's like the dumbest, lamest shit. I don't get why people do it. I mean, people can do it, but you know, don't expect me to understand why. It makes no fucking sense. Some people are probably going to see a song like Boyfriend Bloodbath and come to the conclusion that I'm extremely immature. Well, guilty as charged. I just have a wacky sense of humor like that, I guess. I'm able to take a jolly joke, you know? I'm a bit of a clown up in here. Teehee. And a lot of people don't tend to understand this, but just because something is a joke doesn't mean it doesn't necessarily reflect like real feelings and real ideas. Like, jokes aren't necessarily sarcastic. Jokes can be sincere. Some of my favorite jokes, in fact, are very sincere. And as far as romance goes, it is true, despite the hyperbolic nature of Boyfriend Bloodbath. There's literally never been a case where someone I know has gotten a boyfriend or girlfriend and the outcome has been positive for me. Like, it has no positive effect for me. I'm sure it does for them, but for me, like, when they get a boyfriend or whatever, I'm just kind of like, oh, well, you know, our friendship is going to go into the dumpster now, because you're just focusing all your time and energy on this other person. And this has happened like 20 times. It's so repetitive and boring. I'm so tired of seeing it happen again and again and again, but it just keeps happening. And it's like, why does everyone gotta have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Why not just have a long-term, deeply committed platonic friendship, where instead of having sex with someone, you just talk to them a lot? Like, I guess I can say that some relationships I've been around haven't really been negative. It's just been kind of neutral, either because I like both the people in it, or I don't really like either of them that much, and I just kind of am vaguely aware of their existence. That's like a neutral type romance that I'm around, but no matter what, you know, it's either I'm competing with this relationship, or I'm forced to be an active participant in this kind of relationship, and no one wants to engage in the type of relationship that I'm into. So it's like everyone is able to betray my trust in any relationship I enter, because nobody takes friendship seriously. Nobody considers that maybe I just want a really good pal who doesn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and just wants to talk all the time. You know, it's a very surreal existence. What's really funny is that Boyfriend Bloodbath isn't even like one of my best songs, not even close. It's very uninspired. I've made way better songs that aren't even about sex or romance, but hey, you know, if it's for the asexual, aromantic crowd, then so be it, I guess. I mean, nobody remembers Quincy Jones for, you know, We Are the World. Remember him for Soul Bossa Nova. But I make this type music purely out of charity, just because there's not enough music like it. There's not enough music reflecting the aromantic type experience, and I think there should be a heck of a lot more, because it's interesting. It's really interesting if you live through it and you can relate to it and identify with it. One thing I find really bizarre about romantic relationships is the level of denial involved. This is the one talking point I hear again and again and again. I've heard it like a dozen times at this point, all from completely different people. And it's when someone says, oh, well, me having a boyfriend is just like being friends, you know? It's just the same, except a little more. As if being romantic with someone is like just an extension of platonic friendship, which I don't think is the case. My own personal experience is someone who's only able to experience platonic attraction and platonic love. Whenever someone experiences romantic attraction, they ignore the platonic attraction. So I don't really buy into that romantic love is an extension of platonic love. I believe that it's something completely different, and that these two forces actually compete with one another. That's the only conclusion I can really draw, because nobody seems content to just engage in a platonic relationship all the time, and I don't think that romantic relationships are just like a heightening of a platonic one. I think that's bullshit. I think it's a totally different thing, and I think being honest about that, like if people were honest about that, I wouldn't resent romantic relationships so much, but what I resent is the denial and just like the obvious deception in that statement. It's not the same thing. There are things you would do with your boyfriend that you wouldn't do with your friend, and that's proof that they're different ways of living. What I'm really amazed by, though, as someone who can only experience friendship, is how callously people will tell me that, oh, well, my boyfriend is just like a friend, but like a better friend. And it's like, how do you think that makes me feel? As someone who tries to be your friend, but just can't have sex with you, you know? How do you think that reflects on my abilities to be a competent friend? Like, I'd prefer to be such a great friend that someone just doesn't need a boyfriend or whatever, because I'm so damn interesting and fun to be around and fun to talk to, that they just forget about having sex. Because I think that shit is dumb and overrated and really boring and repetitive. I guess what I mean to say by all this is that it's not even necessarily romantic attraction which bothers me, but it's just the level of denial that comes with it. Like, nobody seems willing to admit that being someone's boyfriend or girlfriend is substantially different from being their friend, which I would know as someone who can only experience one of those and be one of those. And if someone was just honest with me, instead of trying to soften it or play it down or act like I have any idea what they're talking about, instead of being like, oh, well, my boyfriend is just my friend and we just have friend times, they were like, you know, we have sexual intercourse with each other and we experience a level of admiration and hormonal exchange that you just can't. We spend more time with each other because we value financial stability and sex. We don't value friendship, we don't value creativity, we value financial stability and sex. And if they were like that, I'd be like, well, cool, you know, I don't value either of those things particularly, but you do, so that's okay, have fun. It's just weird that people lie about this, that they lie about valuing friendship. They're like, I want a boyfriend who's just like my friend, and just is like a great friend. But it's like, but you have sex with him. It's like, you're kind of leaving that part out. You're kind of just lying by omission. So yeah, that's what I think is the most bizarre aspect of romance that I've noticed again and again and again, is the level of denial to it. Also that people who experience it seem to kind of take it for granted and go like, oh, it's just a nice feeling you get. Oh, it's just so basic, Nick. What, you don't get this nice feeling? No, I don't, because it sounds fucking stupid. I've never felt that towards anyone, ever. Mainly what I mind, like I said, is just the level of denial involved. Also the lack of skepticism, the lack of just like rational thought. I think romantic relationships and romantic behavior is kind of at odds with like rational thought, which is something I value quite a bit and provides a great deal of stability to my life. But yeah, what I find especially strange about romantic dynamics is how everyone seems to want to lie about it and downplay it and act like it doesn't exist. And I refuse to deny objective facts. Like, I acknowledge that sex exists. It just makes no sense to me. but everyone else, like, denies that it exists or is, like, embarrassed about it. And I'm just like, why do you do all this stuff that you're embarrassed about? You know, I don't do stuff that I'm embarrassed about because I have integrity. Ultimately, though, I think the most insipid, annoying, bland contingent, the worst possible demographic in this type area are these type guys, and there's a lot of them here in Denver, a lot, who want sex, like very clearly want to have sex with people, but just won't admit it. Or, as stated previously, they'll play it off all coy, you know, all cutesy, like, teehee, I want sex, but teehee, I'm an effeminate guy. Ooh, teehee, oh, teehee, we can have sex, but like, ooh, teehee, you know, if you want sex, just be upfront about it and stop lying, you know, which I don't, but like, there are so many guys who obviously just do, and I'm sick of seeing it. I think everyone can agree that gender dynamics in this country are, like, thoroughly broken. I think whether you're on the right, whether you're on the left, you can agree that, like, the relationship between guys and girls is, like, totally fucking shattered, and it's just not healthy at this point. And, you know, whatever the solution is will vary depending on whatever your mileage is. Like, I would argue gender dynamics would probably improve if people were more educated about LGBTQ plus topics, like especially asexuality, because I think that there are a lot of people who legitimately don't care about having sex or being romantic, but feel pressured into it on a societal level and feel like they have to just to fit in, which I think is really stupid. So I think people should be more educated about that, because I do know that there are a lot of people probably who don't want to have sex, but they just feel like, you know, I have to be in the closet. I can't just admit that I don't want to have sex or be romantic, because people assume that that makes someone like a psychopath or a sociopath. I think just generally, like, the interactions I have with the opposite gender are just, like, really unhealthy most of the time. And, you know, I think intergender communication is very important, and I think we should be seeing more of it. And I think it's just gross. It's especially gross to live in a climate where everyone's just expected to be, like, friends with the guys if you're a guy, and friends with the girls if you're a girl, but you can't have a friend who's a girl. Oh, damn, because that's, like, fucking twisted or something. Like, people still believe this. It's just an implicit bias. It's not even necessarily something that's out in the open. But my gosh, it's difficult to maintain a long-term, deeply committed platonic friendship with someone who isn't a guy. Because I'm not into guys. I'm not interested in guys. I don't find guys interesting. And whenever I say this, that I just want someone to talk to and be around all the time, you know, because I'm fucking lonely. It's fucking isolating out here in 21st century America. What people tell me is, oh, you just want a girlfriend. And it's like, no. The key difference between a girlfriend and a friend is you don't have sex with your friends. Like, that's, I would argue, the boundary. And I want someone who I don't have sex with ever, and I just talk to all the time. And by that metric, we just be pals. We just be good buddies. She never gets a boyfriend. I never get a girlfriend because I don't need one, because I'm just talking all the time. I just want to talk. I don't want to have sex. Fuck's sake. I just want to talk and talk and talk and talk some more, and then read, and then talk and talk and talk. And if that sounds boring to anyone, then just know that I consider sex way more boring. Oh yeah, just ultimately fascinating stuff out here on the aromantic front. I'm not gonna make a song like Boyfriend Bloodbath for some time, but it is a hilarious song with a hilarious name. Boyfriend Bloodbath. Boyfriend. That is. Boyfriend Bloodbath. Boyfriend Bloodbath.